Hi, my name is Frank Beddor, and we're at the 2007 Comic-Con here in San Diego. And I'm the creator of the Looking Glass Wars and the Looking Glass Wars Hadaram comic book series. And in the booth today is my co-collaborator, Ben Templesmith, who has been working on my series for the last couple of years. So I really appreciate you stopping in here at Comic-Con. I understand, Ben, that you've been invited this year as a special guest. You want to tell us a little about that?
Apparently, yes. I'm a special guest this year at the convention. I thought it was a hoax, but apparently it's not. They flew me out here and my wife out here, and I get to do a spotlight on myself, a few panels, and get to see everyone else and the projects I'm involved with, including you, good sir.
He forgot to mention that we've both been nominated for the Eisner for, in my case, for Best New Limited Series, and Ben for the body of his work. Let's see, both for Fell, correct, and for Hadaram, and what else?
And the other one probably would be Wormwood Gentleman Corpse, which is one I also write and draw, but for the art. So.
Okay, now, I understand that I'm very difficult to work for. Do you want to elaborate on the reason that you're actually still talking to me, let alone working on my series?
Well, basically, it's because I'd like my pets back. Several months ago, he kidnapped my pets and said if I didn't finish what I was doing, he was going to kill them. So I would like my pets back. Fluffy, I miss you.
It's always the best to get to an artist's heart by kidnapping their pets. It's a tip for anybody who's working with temperamental artists. It's one of my best moves, so please don't everybody use it at the same time. So now, Ben, you also have a movie. Are they premiering 30 Days of Night, or giving a little clip, or showing a trailer here?
Yeah, they're giving a brief scene from the movie during the panel that Sony's putting together Saturday for 6,000 people in a big auditorium, which should be interesting because they wanted to ban a portion of the thing they're going to show, but they've insisted that they're going to show it, so we'll see what happens.
Oh my God, that sounds like a brilliant marketing plan. Say that you're going to ban something and then bring it out at Comic-Con. Well, you know, in the creating of my series, I'm often asked, how does Ben create the look and feel? You know, normally in comics there's somebody who does the pencil and then the inking and then the coloring. Ben Templesmith does it all. So I've asked him to pull out a couple of the tools of his trade, which are right here. Ben is going to explain how he creates something as brilliant. I've opened up one of the Hadaram comic pages. It's a action sequence that is a memory recollection from the lead character Hatter Madigan. So, using this as a sample, can you just walk us through which tools? How would you start? How would you begin the process?
Well, basically, I draw on a page as any artist would do. In the case of this, I drew it out in pencil, like so, mechanical pencil. I didn't actually ink it, so that might not be a good example, but I use computer a lot, as you can possibly see. But after the penciling, I usually ink with pens like that and the various others to get the black look. And then I use tonal markers a lot to do some shading and whatnot. But then I also use caffeine pills to stay awake. They're a lifesaver. But I also use paint. In this, I used a lot of paint. I used a lot of watercolor just for effects and for textury, splattery effects. Often with a straw, just to give us a splattery look, and a lot of white highlights with acrylic, just simple acrylic paint. So that's what I've used on that a fair bit.
You mentioned you didn't ink this. When you ink versus not inking and using the watercolors, I mean, what's the process? What determines whether you ink or you don't ink?
Well, that part of the Hatter book was more like the dream sequence in the other world, and so it's a more grainy, sort of gritty memory look because it was all sort of from memory. So that's really the only reason. Otherwise, most stuff I do is inked now. Yeah, it's depending on the story, really.
Right. Well, thank you, because I didn't realize I'm often asked that question, and I wanted to do a better job of describing your choices in terms of using the different paints and the shadowing, because you're so known for the color, and the colors pop so often. People come by the booth, they pick up the comic, and they flip through, and they're startled by the contrast and the richness and the vibrance of it. So you've served your fan base. Now, I also thought I'd mention that I started in comics with the Hatterem. Was my first comic book series. I'd never done one before, and the only reason I decided to do it was because Ben agreed to do the art. Now, did I telephone you or did I email you? Do you remember that long ago when I think I started? I stalked you, basically. It was
You sort of did. Not many people talk to me on the phone anymore. It's all email. So, yeah, only you and a select few others really bother ringing me anymore.
Yes, I remember getting lucky and getting him on the telephone. Now, what we did, Ben and I, we started with the idea of doing this series as a web comic. Of course, that was a complete scam. I was just trying to convince him to work on it. As soon as he agreed to that, a couple weeks later, I said, "You know what? This is turning out so great. I think we should do a whole comic book series." And he said yes. Unbeknownst to him, he's now committed to life. You're committed to life, right?
Pretty much, yes. It just kept evolving into something bigger and bigger. So
it's a life sentence, okay? Let's be honest. So I want to just say goodbye to the fans here at day one of the Comic-Con. Thanks, Ben, for stopping by, signing posters. We've collected all 4 of the Hatter comic books, and on September 25th, you'll see this version, Hatterem, in all the comic book stores. I hope you guys will check it out. And on August 21st, the Looking Glass Wars sequel, Seeing Red, will be available. And for anybody who's read the first one, I hope you'll read the second one. So, Ben, we'll see you later. Good luck with the 6,000 fans. I'm going to be there because I want to see what happens.
Thanks very much, and I'll see you all later.
Cheers.